Hi everyone, we're here at the MetaCenter Global Summit where we're exploring the question, are we at the tipping point for XR adoption? Today I'm here with Dan McConnell, who's the Chief Technologist of Booz Allen Hamilton, Office of the CTO. So first, Dan, I got a question for you. What do you think, what technology developments do you think are driving adoption of XR?
Thanks, John. And it's great to be here at the show. It's an amazing turnout, and I've really enjoyed all the people that I've gotten to hang out with here. Probably a lot to answer your question, but I think the one that stands out for me the most is, really just the form factor. And form factor of the headsets and the thinking and the culture shift around like what that might mean. So is a headset necessary, or is like a heads-up display? And so I think we're seeing interesting advances in like breaking apart like these monolithic capabilities and like really getting down to the capability and optimizing whether it's waveguide technology for AR glasses, projectors continuously. These light engines are getting smaller and smaller, and I think that as that form factor gets to a place where people are more likely to, whether from comfort or just perception, will be wearing it, and that's I'm seeing that a lot, especially in the government as well.
Okay, so form factors is one of the biggest areas. Okay, what industries do you think are best suited for adoption?
So I'll answer that in two parts. One, I do think in the defense industry we're seeing a lot of money being spent on a lot of very emerging tech. Okay. Their return on their investment is not always dollars, right? And so they're looking to be the leaders, especially with everything that we have going on in the world and some of our near-peer competition. So within that defense industry, I see a rapid adoption within our special operations community. Okay. They have a lot of money, they have a lot of need and requirements, and so industry is ready to come in and help them, and so I'm seeing a lot there. Now, of course, there's that's not necessarily spreading as fast across DoD, but caveat it within DoD, I think that's a very exciting space.
Okay, excellent. Mm-hmm. Third question, what are the biggest hurdles that you think we still need to overcome for further adoption?
So I guess, building off my answer to the previous question, I think one reason we're not seeing as rapid shifts to the larger Army or DoD with some of the capabilities that I mentioned we're seeing within the special operations community. And those hurdles, are how are we scaling? So manufacturing, there's a lot of stringent requirements, I'll say, within the U.S. when it comes to not only manufacturing, but cybersecurity. And then really when we start getting into XR, I think we're also just scratching the surface right now when we get to larger scale adoption when it comes to like privacy and thoughts about privacy, even within the government. And I don't think we really know all that we don't know yet about the data that we're capturing and some of the harmful things that might come of that.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because just 2 years ago, the biggest hurdle was getting people to understand what XR was. I don't think we have that issue anymore, do we?
No, absolutely not. And I think, in fact, I would say that, slightly less long ago, the hurdle was more about, okay, I know what XR is, but that's games. My kids are playing that. Yeah. But really, we're seeing the light bulb go off and like applying that technology to a whole host of use cases that I think are super interesting.
All right, so the final question, Dan McConnell, do you think that we're finally at the tipping point for XR using Malcolm Gladwell's definition?
I would have to say yes. It's a hesitant yes. We'd have to define, the time horizon that we see, but because, I'm specifically talking about the federal government and DoD, I know that their acquisition cycles are more in years and not so much in weeks. So yes, I see that tipping point for all the reasons I mentioned around the DoD industry, and if I had to guess, it's a slightly longer, couple more years before we start seeing even more adoption within that community.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Dan. Appreciate it. Have a great day.